Hello, this is Alistair Beaumont. So this is part 5 of my 5-part series involving me giving you a taste or an idea of what it is that I do and how emphasis on the meanings, how I memorized the cards in each individual place, which gave me the base necessary to do what I do. This is intended just to be an example so that you can learn, or you can use the same information, or hopefully you can use something here, even the contradictions. Even if you disagree with the card, you can use what I've shown you here, what I'm showing you here, as a means to create your own way, because in the end, it's all about how you wield this ability. That's what's most important. There's no wrong way to do this. All I'm doing is give you an idea of how one might use their abilities to start, give you a direction of where to start. So the idea is if you can attach in a general feel for each individual card to yourself, that'll give you a base from which you can run. And once you have that in your head and it's stuck there, sky's the limit. When you do your readings, you'll be able to see all kinds of things you never saw before. So, without further ado, opportunity or a gift, lack of opportunity, or a gift that you shouldn't accept. Material shift, positive. Material shift, negative. I suddenly felt like mentioning something else that I was interesting about, particularly this particular card. It didn't occur to me until I started putting it down, which is why I made the mistake and edited it the way it is. In another deck that I have, the Two of Pentacles is a lot different than this one. And I remember in a particular reading I was doing with somebody that was asking about the future of their relationship, the outcome, on a Celtic reading too, the original Celtic spread. The outcome was the Two of Pentacles. But what was interesting, the reason why I stopped this and I wanted to tell you about this story was, when I saw, to give you an example of what I was talking about when it comes to just the feel of the cards and why it's important to memorize, but also not important to get stuck to it, is in the end of the reading when I actually saw the Two of Pentacles, it changed what I saw in the Two of Pentacles because of its nature. It wasn't this deck, but what I saw in the image at the time, and I wish I could tell you which one it is, but I'm not going to go and search through my other 9 decks to figure out which one it is. But instead of seeing 2 pentacles in a positive shift, I saw 2 interlocking gold rings. 2 interlocking gold rings. Wedding rings. So the idea was that in the end they'd be married. They never called me back, so I know if that's the case, but the point is that for a little while there, instead of seeing the 2 pentacles, I saw 2 golden rings. And that's what I think is most important. The interpretation, not... That's why you shouldn't stick to the textbook example, but you also at the same time need a base from which to go on, to fall back on when you get confused or when you can't figure it out. Because sometimes we'll do the readings and it's a mystery. 2 cards come together, you can't imagine why they would come together, you can't figure it out. So sometimes you got to fall back in order to get an idea. Step back and get a clear look at it. Enterprise. And a lack of enterprise. Conservatism. Recklessness. Poverty. Which lately, especially, it's poverty. This one is not, I used to in the beginning, I thought of it as poverty as simply just you didn't have enough money or you're lacking money. But lately it's about spiritual. It always seems to come up where it's like a spiritual poverty, an internal poverty. You lack fulfillment or love or something. That's what keeps frequently coming up for me. And of course, this is its resolution: to get out of poverty, to move forward from it. Generosity. A lack of generosity. Basically stingy. Stinginess, or you get the idea. The planting of a healthy seed. The planting of a seed that won't grow. Growth from the seed, or no growth. Luxury. This one's a special one as well. In the years past, I've used luxury and I always thought it just meant you had a lot of money or you gained a lot of materialism. And sometimes it still means that, of course. But lately, I've seen it as an abundance of choices. So in other words, luxury is the luxury of choice, the ability to say, and in some ways, that's what money gives you. If you have a lot of money, you have a lot of choices. You have a lot of options. So it's the luxury of choice, the luxury of options, whatever it is, luxury of time sometimes. And of course, the lack of it. And wealth, which is, once again, in the beginning I thought it was just basically having a whole lot of money. But what it means to me now is home and hearth. So the idea is that you have everything you've ever wanted. You have money, but you also have family, you have friends, you have peace of mind, you have everything. This is like one of the very best cards you can draw, because that's what everybody wants. And this, of course, is either you don't have it, you haven't had it yet, or the worst one of all, you lose it, which happens a lot. Not the losing wealth a lot, I just mean the card comes up and that's usually what it means, especially lately, just the lack of wealth. The idea is you're losing something. Moving on to the courts, and I'm eating up too much time, so I'm just going to skip ahead on this one, saying the same thing I already said in the last 4 parts, that courts represent both either people or events, and therefore they fluctuate. So of all the cards in the deck, the courts are the ones that I don't put too much, like, nail any particular meaning to. I just go with the fly, or go with the flow, because feel has a lot to do with it, especially in the other decks. But just the same, I'm going to give you a general idea anyway. So here it comes. A caring youth, a youth that wants to learn, or somebody presenting you with an opportunity. And this is a youth that is in a big hurry, doesn't care about learning anything, or the opportunity is being offered is false. Shift in materialism positive, shift in materialism negative. Great provider of female energy, but it also is about duty and honor. Somebody who is more interested in taking than giving from the form of female energy. The great provider, the king that makes sure his subjects are all taken care of and cares about them all, to be able to have their health, to have the wealth and be able to give it. And somebody that is only interested in taking it away. And there you have it. The end of the series, the end of the deck. That's what I use as a baseline to come up with my to do my readings. It's not as simple as that. Sometimes, to be perfectly honest, I can't really explain to you how the heck I come up with the stuff that I come up with when I do the readings, but this is what I train myself to do. This is how I train myself to do it, and it's what I use as a baseline. Maybe you can come up with something yourself. I hope this has been entertaining for you, not too boring. I hope you gain something out of it. May the universe guide you to prosperity and happiness, and I will be seeing you.